Well, the pre-patch is likely right around the corner as Blizzard has hot fixed in a lot of class changes, particularly some pretty big nerfs and buffs. So I am very excited to see what is actually going to be happening here, because it feels like the beta still likely needs quite a bit of tuning. So seeing these pre-patch changes, likely what is that going to mean apply to those classes at max level? Are these going to be temporary tuning adjustments? There's a lot of unanswered questions there. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, then smash that subscribe button. For Druid specifically, you're getting a massive amount of buffs. Your Druid across the board, Swiftman, is going to do 15% more healing. This isn't just only for Resto. I don't know if it'll still be worth ever really pressing as anything other than Resto, but it's getting a buff, and I think specific for Resto, it's definitely going to be good. For Resto Druid, you're also getting 15% more wild growth healing, which is going to be great and powerful for PvE. Rejuve is getting a 15% healing buff, which is quite a lot considering in PvP, generally you're using Life Bloom and Regrowth more than Rejuve. Maybe this is going to make you feel more inclined to do it, but it's a pretty expensive spell. Regrowth getting 15% more healing is the big one, I think, especially with how often you're getting into tree form. This is going to be a huge amount of healing with those Omen of Clarity procs moving forward. And especially with some of the hero talent trees, which I don't know if we'll be able to have access to into pre-patch, because I think you don't unlock the first hero talent tree until level 71, so likely we won't. So you won't have the Force of Nature kind of buffs that are coming through, which I actually just tested on the beta today, which make Resto Druid really good. For Evoker, Devastation is seeing a 15% buff to Eternity Surge. Devastation Evoker is already doing massive amounts of damage, so that's going to be a crazy amount of damage coming out from Devastation. Imminent Destruction is no longer a capstone and has been swapped positions with Feed the Flames. I'm uncertain as to what these are. If Imminent Destruction is the one with the stun at the bottom, or Feed the Flames, but this is kind of last second talent readjustment here for the pre-patch. Survival Hunter, which is getting a huge rework, which you will likely have, is getting some changes on top of that. Grenade Juggler has been updated. Casting Explosive Shot reduces the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb from 2 seconds. Grenade Juggler and Sulfur Lined Pockets procs will no longer grant the cooldown reduction effect, and Bombardier is no longer consumed by Sulfur Lined Pockets or Grenade Juggler procs. There's a lot of bugs at the moment that need to be fixed, a lot of bug fixes here. And I'm not sure if this is a buff or a nerf what it was from previously, but this seems like good synergy. You're getting a lot of explosive shot procs, so getting cooldown reduction on Wildfire Bomb, which does significant damage, does seem good initially. Now, Arcane Mages, you're the first class that's kind of getting hit with the nerf hammer a bit. Almost everything is getting nerfed. High voltage base chance decreased to 10 from 20. High voltage proc chance increase per failure increased to 10 up from 5. Aether attunement damage bonus decreased to 100% on the primary target and 50% on secondary. It was 150 and 100 respectively. Fixing an issue that was allowing procs such as Orb Barrage and Energy Reconstitution to generate clear casting. Arcane Blast is doing 5% less damage. Arcane Missiles is doing 5% less damage, and Arcane Barrage is doing 10%. Now, I think in PTR testing that Arcane was like a massive overperformer, and honestly was as well in the War Within. I think these changes went live on the beta and I played with it, and Arcane still was doing high amount of damage even despite this. So I'm kind of thinking this is likely not the end of the world for you, honestly, as Arcane, but you never really like to see nerfs if it's your spec, but it may not end up being too big of a deal. Now for Frost Death Knight, Death's Chill will now stack up to 12 times. Time Anomaly now grants a temporary water elemental when it procs Icy Veins. Interesting. A little temporary water elemental. That's a lot of extra CC that you're going to be able to get from this. That's actually crazy good to be able to spawn in an extra pet for the extra CC, especially considering that you're going to be losing Ice Nova likely, because it's going to be a choice node with Ring of Frost. It's a really good change. Refreshing Icy Veins no longer breaks Fractured Frost, Slick Ice, Death Chill, or Thermal Void for the duration of refreshed Icy Veins. Glacial Spike damage the game buff by 10%. Cryopathy and Splintering Ray are no longer a choice node. The location of nodes in Gate 3 have been adjusted. So talent node changes, I think some quality of life improvements for Frost here is definitely going to be received really positively. For Paladins, I don't know what you guys did wrong to Blizzard. I don't know, but you guys obviously did something really messed up, because you're getting a 20% Holy Light decrease. Imbued infusions now reduce the cooldown of Holy Shock only by 1 second, down from 2. Now, Holy Paladin on the beta is like one of the best healers, maybe the best healer, at least in PvP. I'm imagining it has to be really good in PvE to be getting such a significant nerf here. So likely it's just going to be putting you in line. Do note that a lot of healers, I'm assuming this will be true in the pre-patch as well as it is in the beta, you're doing a ton of like Fistweaver style healing where your damage turns into healing. Like almost every healer is having that mechanic added to them. I was playing Druid and I was spamming Wrath and keeping my team alive spamming Wrath. So likely these direct healing spells might not be that big of a deal, although the offensive Holy Shocks, like Holy Shock is actually doing a lot of damage in PvP, might be felt by the cooldown reduction change here. Enhancement Shamans, you guys wanted changes, right? You guys wanted changes, right? Enhancement Shamans? Who out there wanted changes on Enhancement Shaman? Well, guess what? The one change that you were going to get is getting reverted. You can't even get a nerf, Enhancement Shamans. You guys can't even get a nerf. There ain't no changes for you guys out there. There's none. Zero. You get nothing. Nothing at all. Well, again, you're probably happy about this. Your Ellie Blast is not going to be getting nerfed by 25%. For Restoration Shaman, with the rework they're getting, which is really crazy good, like 2-minute cooldown Ascendance, your talent tree is like layered out, so it's all 1-point talents. You get everything that you want. There's no weird decisions. You're getting baseline instant cast Lava Burst procs. Being a Resto Shaman, I think, in the War Within is absolutely going to be fantastic, and it's getting even more fantastic with Torrent now increasing Riptide's initial healing by 20% and its critical strike rate by 10%. So anything related to Riptide is generally really good and desirable in PvP, and likely is going to put you in a really good position. Now, note these are changes for the pre-patch, but I do believe that they apply to the War Within as well. And we likely won't have hero talents. I can't, unless we get the base ability, like summoning in the 4 horsemen. It's possible that we maybe get the summon in the 4 horsemen, but I don't think you're going to get any of the talents, which this whole pre-patch could be kind of crazy, actually, if that ends up how it works. Like the whole game balance is going to be completely different than the War Within beta, and I'm really going to do some testing for that. But do note that this pre-patch phase is usually just like a cool collectible mode where we're going to go into the world. There's going to be a bunch of bosses spawning from older expansions, and you collect some transmogs and some loot for your alts to gear them up, and they'll likely have the PvP season still running but without any real rewards, so you can kind of fool around and goof off with the changes. Generally, I like the pre-patches that are just a little bit busted and a little bit tweaked out there, so that you can just do massive amounts of damage, have some funny meme moments in the time where it's not really seriously competitive. So I'm honestly a bit concerned that these changes are happening on a pre-patch that is not really meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to just kind of be a fun meme little moment for the expansion. Maybe it's not going to be like that, because they're also increasing stamina by a huge amount. I think that change likely comes in the pre-patch, so we could actually have just like a really slow game. Like the beta has been speeding up, and I feel like it's because I've been making PvP changes and not posting them, because some classes went from like not able to hurt me through 1 life bloom to just killing me immediately through every hot, some classes in some cases. So I am honestly kind of up in the air as far as what to expect, because is the pre-patch just going to be a slow dampen fest like BFA? Is it going to be like Shadowlands one-shots coming out of the woodwork everywhere? We're really kind of up in the air as far as that is concerned. As far as pacing, these changes could maybe have no impact depending on what they've done with stamina, but these are the changes that are coming through for the pre-patch. We'll keep relaying everything as it goes on, as well as updating you with class picking guides and how to play guides and talent build guides as well. So thank you guys very much for your support as always, and I will see you in the next one.